All right. So what I want to talk about is Dear White People season 2. So I'm like a week late on this. I procrastinated on watching it. I was like I don't really feel like watching it and stuff. But when I finally did put it on, I just started watching it yesterday. I'm through. Basically, in a 24-hour period, I've watched all 10 episodes. Once I started, it was a wrap. Is a show you once you start watching it, you want to go through it. I really enjoyed it. The way I'm gonna go about this is I'm gonna do it kind of similar to the way they show the show. Uh, they show it in chapters. It has 10 episodes, so 10 chapters. In each chapter, they pretty much follow a character. So so I'm gonna basically go through characters and their role in the show and stuff, and that's how I'm gonna do this review. But it picks up from season 1, obviously, and AP they had a whole bunch of drama at the end of the season and stuff. They had the cop drew the gun on Reggie, and that just led to a bunch of things happening. So Troy finally finds his blackness towards the end of the season. He breaks the window and stuff. So and that leads to a bunch of things. But that's kind of how where season 2 picks up from. And the outcry of the common thread of this season is last season she had Dear White People. So she was the voice of the black people, Samantha. And she was saying all the things, getting everything off her chest and being a voice for the black people and stuff. This season right here is like kind of a reflection of America now. Like it's crazy to think that like it's similar to like higher learning and stuff. And that was like maybe 20 some years ago. And the same things that was happening like in that period, in periods further back and stuff, like people still going through those things. Like they got the alt-right stuff in everything, and you see that with Trump and everything. But there's still so much racism on that they're dealing with as young people in society, as young people in school and everything. There's a lot of racism going on, but in this season, the racist kind of is like America. They have more of a voice on this one. Like they have the alt-right show, like Dear Right People or something. They're voicing their opinion more and becoming more powerful on campus. And they're trolling and making it hard for a lot of the black people on campus, especially Samantha. Samantha is really going through it, but she's wasting a lot of time, like just battling with them. So let me start off with Samantha White. So she's basically the star of the show, and she's still dealing with her blackness or lack thereof, or overcompensating, and she's doing her show and everything. But the alt-right people, they're really more prevalent this season and stuff. Well, they come out this season, so that's a big issue they tackle. And they really on her for her pro-black views and everything. And you kind of go into her psyche a little bit more. As far as her having a white father and everything, she kind of resents that side of her, or she's ashamed of it. So I think that's why she overcompensates with her blackness. I think it's kind of a guilt. And so that's the thing that she has to deal with in the season. Further on, I don't want to give it too much, but she kind of pushes her father away. But he did do a lot for her. He's a white man, and he taught her a lot of things that really helped her in her life. And she kind of took that for granted. One thing about Samantha being the star of the show and everything, the episodes where they follow Samantha, I really enjoy Samantha. I think she's a splendid character. splendid. That's not really a word I use, but I thought it was fitting. But the thing about Samantha though, episodes with other people, and they show Samantha the way she affects their lives. Like, she's very narcissistic, very self-absorbed. She's very self-absorbed and stuff, and it's her way or the highway. Like, in her episodes I like her, but in other people's episodes when she's around, involved, I really don't care for her character much, man. She's very much for self, very selfish, and that's just something. But Reggie Green, he's one of my favorite characters in the show. He's in love with Samantha. Well, he was in love with Samantha. She kind of kept pushing him off to the side. Like, she was in love with the white dude, with Gabe and all that. But he's dealing with some PTSD because the gun was drawn on him. He's building a rage inside from that situation because he felt real helpless and stuff. And it's kind of a reflection of like all the Philando Castillos and you know, a lot of the people, Tamir Rice's and stuff like that. It's kind of similar to that. And so he didn't get killed, but he had that fear in him because his life was threatened, and how it affected him. It made him angry, but he's kind of a little more lost on this season. He indulges with homeboy. He runs around with Troy and start banging up a bunch of white girls, and like, he was like really pro-black brother, but he would try hitting the white girls and stuff. So he kind of loses himself a little bit, but he plays a very good role, man. He has a good dynamic with a lot of different characters, like with Samantha. Joelle, I really like her. I'm gonna go to her next. So Joelle, something about her in this season, like whenever they show her, she's very, I really love this sister on here. She's a very beautiful chocolate sister, very smart, intellectual, very gifted, but she feels a second fiddle to Samantha. Samantha being the light-skinned chick and stuff, like a lot of stuff comes to her and stuff. Like, Samantha is very mean and feels against the world, but a lot of things comes to her. And like the dark-skinned sisters like Coco and Joelle, they have a harder time, and so that really bothers Joelle, and that's something that she has to deal with on here. She actually finds a brother that seems like he's really into her and stuff, but he turns out to be all twisted up and stuff. So I hated that for her. But she's I really like her character, man. And I'm gonna try to like, it's kind of hard to give like their whole thing and then go to the next character because it kind of spoils it. So I might like wrap everything up towards the end. But like Coco, she's dealing with her things. She winds up one of her issues. She's not as preppy. She's still preppy as hell, but she's a little more intertwined with the black people on this one. She towards the end, I don't want to sound like I'm racist, reverse racist or something, but when she's sleeping with the white dude at the end, I was kind of like, I didn't really like that too much. Even though Samantha been sleeping with the white dude, with a white dude, but Gabe, he's kind of cool, I guess. But Coco, she has a self-reflecting moment because she goes through something. She winds up pregnant from Troy. Like, they was messing around last season, and she has a big thing. Should she keep the baby or should she not and stuff? I'll let you watch it, or and not spoil it, just in case you haven't watched it. I don't know why you'll be watching this. Maybe if you want to see, if you should watch it, watch it. But she goes through that. Like, that's a real good episode and stuff, just as far as her mind frame and what could happen. And just, I don't want to get too much away. Gabe, he's kind of using his platform is to try to help the black people. But some people take it the wrong way. Like Samantha has issues with it because her and Gabe has issues. But the thing about it is, like, how could she be mad at Gabe? I can't lie, I'm with Gabe on this season because she did mess with Reggie. She did cheat on Gabe and stuff, and she pushed him away and stuff. Even though I kind of wish she would have got with Reggie in the first season, but it wasn't meant to be. So she did Gabe wrong, and Gabe was right in his views of doing things. As far as this season, him using his platform and stuff, I don't think he was exploiting the black people like Samantha was trying to paint it out. Like, he was really doing a positive thing. Like, as far as to tackle racism and stuff, you kind of need some white people and stuff to accept that racism exists. If people don't accept that it exists, right? Cameron died, so back where was I? If people don't accept that racism exists, then how can you ever tackle it and try to improve or anything like that? Lionel Higgins, he plays a big role in this season. One thing, like, I don't know if it's, maybe I'm being cynical, but I think him being a gay character and stuff, they kind of tried to push him as far as like a heroic role and stuff. Maybe I'm being cynical, but he does play a good role. Like, as a writer and stuff, is a reporter and everything like that. He does do a lot of positive things in here, but then some moments I'm gonna be honest, like, he's dealing with his sexuality. In first season he was kind of like figuring out if he was gay or not. This season he's fully gay, and so he does he does find himself in situations like trying to explore and stuff. And it's kind of like, I'll be honest, I watched it, in certain things I was kind of like, and I don't really want to be like that. I'm not really a very judgmental person as far as like the gay community and stuff, but some things I can be honest with, like, not all the way comfortable with. And I think they tried to push his character. Did they try to push him a little extra because he was gay? Like, you find it on shows like in Empire, they have Jamal like he's the hardest one on the family. And they got the rapper a hoe, but Jamal is the man. So he's kind of like the Jamal of this. Like, they push him like he's nerdy and stuff, but I don't know, he's very important. But he does do a lot of positive things. He's a very good character in the show. He uncovers a lot of things. He finds out who the troll is. I don't want to give that away. That's a shocking thing whenever you find out who the troll is, who's really making Samantha's life a living hell and stuff. What other characters? Troy Fairbanks. Troy, at the end of the first season, he turned out like he found his blackness, and he really was for the people and stuff. But on this season, like, he kind of lost himself, and he hung out with like the white dudes and stuff, and like he was kind of not a butt of the jokes, but like, he was a black man that was squandering his position. Like, it's kind of like you finally have a brother that gets a seat at the table. Like, if Obama became president, but he was like the shittiest president ever. It's kind of was like that. Like, his father is the president and stuff. Like, he got to a point where he was high in the campus and doing stuff, but he squandered his opportunities. And they show like sort of his past, and he's always been a selfish brother. Like, he used Samantha early on. Like, he made Samantha fall in love with him when Reggie was in love with her and stuff, and he took that and messed up Dave's like potential relationship and whatever, and he shit on her to get to where he needed to be. He's a charming fella, but he's just like, he's kind of like an asshole and stuff. But he was a pretty good character. I'm not gonna say I dislike Troy. He's just kind of a fuck up. But eventually he kind of he finds himself a little bit. Like he kind of has some self-awareness, but he's like pretty high the whole season, kind of like he's just like spaced out. Other characters, like that's basically the main characters. I don't want to give everything away, but towards the end, like some Easter eggs. They have the original cast on here from the first the movie of Dear White People, and that was a nice touch. Tessa Thompson and them, and homeboy from Everybody Hates Chris. They don't play their old roles. They kind of flip their roles. Is Tessa Thompson was Samantha. She's like the opposite of Samantha. But all the things that's going on, like all the racial tensions and stuff, it all kind of comes to a boil towards the end. It basically leads up to another season. Like the way it ends is very, like they leave a lot in the air. In certain things about the season that's crazy. Like they're at a white college, a white institution, but they have the black side, the white side, or whatever. They have a small black congregation of people. They get together, but they have a rich history in like secret societies and old slavery stuff, and they're uncovering a lot of that. And I guess it's like the parallels of the past in the present, and they being very similar. Even though years have passed, like the present, there's still a lot of racism, and it's still a lot of like secret society type stuff going on. So I guess like people in the past, they checking out the past, but they trying to make the imprint in the future or in the present. So I would say watch the season, man. It's hard to explain because there's a lot going on and a lot of different characters to break down without really like telling the whole show and giving too many spoilers. But it's a good show, man. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. Like they had some things I didn't like. Like Samantha characters, sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't. Like certain characters were kind of shallow. Certain characters, they had the ups and downs. With some of my favorite characters are like Reggie and Joel, or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, but that's my two favorite characters. I like Samantha sometimes, but sometimes I hate her. One thing I didn't like also is Samantha's mother. I could have swore that she was a dark-skinned woman. But whenever they do show her, whenever they go back to the house, I'm not going to tell you the reason why, but they do show her family. She's the light-skinned woman from the game. It's not the same woman that I thought that was her mother. So I didn't necessarily like that. Like, it was kind of like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when they took the dark-skinned Aunt Viv and replaced it with the light-skinned. Or maybe I'm tripping, but I could have swore her mother was a dark-skinned woman. But I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I know this has been long-winded, and you might have cut this off a long time ago, but if you made it through, I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe. Gonna be the greatest or the most hated. Shit. Peace out. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things I didn't touch on, but man, I don't want this video to be super long and longer than it already is. It's going up probably 20 minutes, but holla at your boy.